Welcome back. It's RC4 drive Trailfinder 2 time again, and you are looking at a 1985 Toyota 4Runner. So this is one of their ready-to-run kits, but as you can see, I've done quite a bit of modification to this, and in fact, I thought it was finished with the build, but as the old saying goes, you're never really finished with anything, especially a build. So we're going to be doing a little bit of surgery to this guy today and actually thieving some parts off of it for an upcoming build. But never fear, we're not going to leave this guy naked. If we're going to take some parts, we're going to replace some parts. So we'll be changing up the look of this just a bit. Not that I'm unhappy with it at all. I think it looks outstanding. But like I say, I've got good reason for what I'm doing. So without further delay, why don't we get into this? Okay, tight shot of the rear because we're going to be stealing this tube bumper. And this thing looks super slick, lightweight, high clearance, probably the best rear bumper you could have on this thing for performance. But like I said, I've got good reason. I've got the red 4Runner ready-to-run kit, and I've got a plan for it, and it's more, I think it's going to be more of a low-down, tube bumper beach cruiser versus this guy with the big lift, just the roof rack. It's got kind of a different vibe, so I think I'm going to swap this bumper out. So the question is, what is going to take the place of this, and what is going to look proper on this rig? Well, I've got it right here. Cchand to the rescue. This is one of 3 versions of their, I guess it's called Velbloud bumper or Velbloud. So this has the Swingout tire carrier. They have another version that has a gas can hanger on this tire carrier as well. And then they have a 3rd version that has a ladder as well. So I guess this is the least stacked version, but part of that was not wanting to cover up this license plate fully if possible. So once I get a tire on there, we'll see how that ends up. And we'll take a look at what we're gonna do for a tire here. All right, so I'm running some SSD 1.55 5 slots on this with some IROC NDs from RC4 drive. So that's what we're trying to match for the spare. And wheels only come in sets of 4. But luckily, RPP Hobby sells SSD wheels as singles as well. Not sure if they have every style, but they have quite a few. So if you're like me and you like to have a scale matching spare, SSD wheels are the way to go because you can pick up those singles and end up with 5. Unfortunately, you can't pick up a single tire. So I got another set of NDs. So we're gonna get this guy set up with a matching 5th wheel spare. First things first, we gotta get the body off. So you can see those 2 thumb screws there. So I've got the Cchand quick release system. So there's one of those underneath on each side, and that's it. You just remove those by hand, and then this thing just pulls straight up and off. It's really just clearing the front fenders, but that's it. So a nice system there, super easy to remove the body, and you can see the little holes for those thumb screws, and there's actually slots that key into the chassis side or the body side to keep it from sliding forward or backwards. So a great little system, very secure. You can see the matching inner fenders for the rear. Those are nice, pretty simple, just block the view there. But looks like this Cchand bumper actually has the same type of thumb screw, and I'm guessing it's for this swing out for the tire carrier. But anyways, let's get busy. And here we are, piece of cake. And I lost my hopes of being able to see that license plate. So I may have to find a new home for that. But since there's no gas rack down here or ladder, I could maybe move it right there to the swing out bar and have it visible. But looking super sick, super tight clearance here. Let me put this on a tripod and I'll show you the Swingout. All right, here's a pretty good side shot, but you can see from the back of that hardware head to the door panel, kind of that black strip, there's maybe 2 millimeters. So it is a super tight fit, and they don't give you really any good method to get that tire mounted. They kind of leave that up to you. So I'll show you what I did. Get this thumb screw out of here. So you definitely have to swing away this arm when you're putting the body on, because like I said, it is just super, super tight. Get this over here so you can see the little wing nut that it actually came with. I kind of threaded on to a point and used that as my backstop for the wheel to keep it vertical, because, you know, depending on the width of your tire and the depth of your rim, you need to stop that wheel at a certain point. If I didn't have a stop, it was leaning kind of crooked up on the back here, but that's all it took. And then I just had to find my own little lock nut here. Wish I had a spare scale hub, but I don't have one on hand. But pretty nice little system there, and definitely did add some weight to the rear end, but this thing's pretty rear heavy with that rack anyway, so I'm already kind of fighting against the odds here. But man, that just looks stellar. Just super happy with it. Get this guy fully tightened down here, but I feel like, man, that was super quick. We can't be done this early in the video here. I feel like we need to bust out something else, get a little surprise maybe for maybe the front end. We've done so much nice work here on the rear. Maybe we turn our attention here to the front face. All right, let's talk front end here. And I bet you thought I was gonna whip out that huge steel bumper that RC4 Wheel Drive offers that would pair so well with that steel swing out bumper in the rear. And I really debated it, but I'm really digging this original kind of stalker look with that valance and the plate. And this push bar, just kind of a sucker for that look. So you can see on this push bar, there's actually some flat spots with some threaded holes there. So it allows for some lights to mount there. So I think that's what we're gonna end up doing to dress this guy up a little bit on the front. So for the lights, I've got some Injora assemblies here, and you do have to put these together yourself. I'll show a little shot of that. But nothing too hard at all. But these resemble ARBs, so these are kind of knockoffs, but super affordable. And the hardware they come with actually threads right into this push bar. So I think the installation of these guys will be super easy. Just have to look into routing here and kind of hiding those wires, as well as potentially a switch for these guys. So now that I've got main lights and auxiliary, it'd be nice to kind of control those separately. So I think we're gonna jump in here, see what we can get mounted and see what we can get lit. Making a little progress here. So I've got these guys mounted, got the strands separated as you saw, so I could run some heat shrink kind of down both of those individually. And you can see, you know, kind of mask it out here so it's all blacked out. So I've got that heat shrink kind of taped in place. I heated it up to kind of mold it. So I was getting ready to start a little bit of routing and hit a little issue here. The only switch I have on hand is a single output, and that is not going to do it if we want to switch these separately from the headlights. So you know what that means. I think we're going to have to rob a part from another build. Would you look at that? I think we've got another RC4 wheel drive vehicle here to come in clutch and save the day here. So if memory serves me, this guy does have a cyclical switch, although it doesn't need it. So it's got some body side headlights, and then it's got chassis side taillights. Those are split, but they both plug in, and I think I just used what I had on hand. So let's pop this body off and see. I remember how to get this guy off. It's been a little while. There we go. So straight up off, and it does. Look at this. So we've got boom, boom. So that's our lead for the body. This was the tail lights. So we're gonna swap in a single switch with just a Y splitter to activate both of those together. So I think that's gonna be the solution here, and that'll keep us rolling on our build. Well, that was easy. Super quick swap out there. So this is the little unit that we need. So you can see it's got an A and B out and a single in here. So we can cycle through both of these and then have them on together as well. So nice little switch there from Club 5. So we're gonna get back to the 4Runner. All right, everything is routed. It is time for a little test. Let's see what these guys look like. So let's hit the switch here. So we got headlights. Nice, super bright there. Those look really good. Let's get everything on here. Really nice looking. So, man, that added a lot there. Definitely, it's gonna brighten up the front end here. Definitely give it a different look. Man, just really digging those, super bright. So you can see just how easy it is to add a little bit of lighting to your rig, a little switch there, make these guys a little more scale. So you can turn them off, boom, one on, the other, both. So super easy to do. Really a big fan of that Club 5 cyclical switch. Great little item to have. And man, that's gonna wrap up the lights, and I think that was definitely a good addition to the front end here. Definitely is gonna, feels like it evens it out with the addition of the spare there. So we got something tacked onto the front end as well. So just super happy with this. Cannot complain at all. See if we can get a look at this rear end here. And back it in here without hitting the wall, but just looking so good with that matching spare. Now, if we only had functioning reverse and brake and turn signals, I think that would be the icing on the cake, but you know what? I'm not gonna complain. This rig looks pretty damn scale as it is. Well, looks like we're at the end of this thing because unfortunately I am out of gear to throw at this thing. And I guess that's a good thing, because if I had more stuff, I would sit here all day tinkering with this guy. So I'm just a sucker for these RC 4-wheel drive bodies, all the scale detail, just super cool. And really digging the facelift here. You know, although we did a little thieving, some functional light, that's always a win. And I think those came out looking super good right there. Really like that old school ARB style, the giant lights. And then for the rear, you know, I'm a sucker for the functional full-size matching spare. Although it's a performance killer, it's a looks enhancer in my book. But just very happy with it. New direction here, little tweak to the look, and getting prepped for a whole new build on that red RTR 4Runner. So I was going to take a little look ahead and unbox that thing, but you know, unboxings, they're pretty pedestrian. And if you want to know what's in the box, you can go to RC4 Drive's site and check it out. But since that build is not going to be happening for a little while, I would just have to put it back in the box. So I figure we'll just end this guy, and I'll give you a sneak peek, look ahead at something else. Here we go with your teaser. And this guy is not 100% finished, but I had to get it out here and size it up next to this other Toyota. And those look great together. Got the push bar on both of them, the lights on both of them. Got some black vinyl graphics going on. It just doesn't get any better than that. So wow, I am just super excited about this guy. It's got a little more work to be done, but it should be coming down the pipe shortly. But as always, until then, I want to say thanks for coming along on this little mini build journey. And until next time, thanks for watching.